Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fringe podcast. Here we are again. I feel like it's been years. At least it has been for me.
It's been weeks.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't invited back for the last episode after the missing podcast.
You were gone.
Yeah. Oh,
I was also gone.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. I just, for the record, we are recording this one, so
sweet.
Just wanted to throw that out there.
That's good.
But we're glad that we're recording because that means you get to watch it.
Turns out that has to happen.
Yeah, there is a missing episode, and it will never see the light of day because there is no record of it.
It was also our best one.
Was it?
Yeah, it was up there.
I don't know. We had to throw it out because Duke swore too much.
Yes, that was it. That was it.
It was too foul.
Yeah,
it was just one long bleep.
It was too foul for the internet. That's why we had to
get
it
out too.
Yeah,
really got out of control.
Happens.
Too much Diet Coke.
Yes, well,
it's
weird how all the crazy things happened on the episode that didn't get recorded.
Strange.
Would have been probably our most views. We might have hit double digits.
Well, especially with Chris's accent.
Well, we are missing the Scottish accent always. Really, we're going to need one of you guys to work on it. And
he can do it.
I need like 5 beers and then we're good to go.
No, he's good at
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, we still have almost an hour, so
you're good at it.
Keep drinking.
You're good enough at it to pass for any other American listening to it.
True. If a Scottish person hears it,
they'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Chris is going to call you up and be like, "What you doing?
Yeah. What the fuck was that?"
Oh man.
Well, as you can tell, we're in the holiday spirit here at the Fringe.
Yay! Cheers.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Yeah, John's like, "Oh yeah, I got my beer."
Holiday
spirit.
My favorite is the golden ornaments, the golf ornaments.
Yeah.
I mean, those, in fairness, have been there from the start. But
wait, those?
Have they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, how many podcasts have you done with us? You just haven't noticed that?
Like I said, it's been a long time since I've been here.
Clearly, you don't watch them back either.
No, that's the sad part is I do a lot.
So actually, these balls are really good for playing in the fall.
Okay.
As you can see why.
You'll lose them immediately. They're camo.
Yeah.
This time of year.
They're pretty cool, though. They're like flaky gold.
Yeah.
We used to have a lot more of those before they got stolen at the golf show.
Yeah. People just kind of like pocketing them as though there's like 24 karat metal flake in it. Like, what is wrong with
That's the
people?
downside of the golf show.
Oh.
People just take stuff.
To my knowledge, I don't know. Maybe we need to contact Vice. Are you guys using real metal flake in this?
I mean, it could help the ball flight. You don't know. That could be the next new break in technology here.
I wonder if Notre Dame does that with their golf balls. Real metal flake.
Gold cover
I
instead
think
of
it's
urethane.
weirder that like Volvic does golf balls of all colors, like that you can buy a black golf ball.
Yeah.
What's wrong with black golf balls?
Any color.
Hot pink.
Don't even go.
Lime green.
We're hard to find. I don't know.
Anyway.
You went down there.
I know. I regret it
your
immediately.
fault.
We're live here, guys.
I was talking about golf balls.
Yeah, let's be careful.
Seriously, though, don't use fall colored golf balls in fall.
Well, the red ones
Top
aren't.
tip.
Don't
use the red ones.
Have you played with red ones?
The bright yellow ones, even in fall, are not good. But
the red ones I can't even see in the sky.
Yeah, those have become popular.
They like disappear.
They blend in pretty good.
I don't know if I'm alone there, but like when people hit them, it's just like they.
You could just be getting older.
Well, I am.
Because I'm finding that I'm having a hard time seeing any color now. Just like after it goes away, it's like
everything just kind of starts turning into gray.
Well, no, it's that little tiny thing, you know. And
yeah.
Well, so it used to be when I play with all the old guys, they'd be like, "Oh, well, you can see it. You tell me where it goes." And now I'm kind of going, "It's that way."
Have you seen an eye doctor?
Yes.
Oh no!
Been doing optometrist lately.
And here we go.
We actually scheduled an optometrist for an upcoming episode.
So if you need a good nap, tune in.
Yeah, we don't want to lose any of our 6 followers. So,
hey,
they're both really nice people.
8.5 right now.
Oh, 8. Okay. See,
yeah.
I've missed a few.
We actually hit a milestone on YouTube. That is, we achieved the first half subscriber. YouTube didn't even know that was possible.
You know what's really special? What's really special about this part of the process is we could literally drive to each follower's house and thank them personally. Yeah. So that's cool.
Let's do that with cameras.
Because they all live within an 18-minute radius.
I like it.
Catch them in their bathrobe. Thanks for following.
I didn't say stalk them. I just meant like go to the front door.
Oh no,
Like-
let's make it weird.
What was that? The clearinghouse, publishers
Publishers.
clearinghouse, show up with
We have a check that says
10
$10,000.
cents.
Who the hell has $10,000?
I think if we just show up with some golden golf balls, we'll be fine. Yeah.
Well, we only have 4 left.
Only 4 left.
You keep stealing them every
Perfect,
time you're
one
here
for
a
each follower.
podcast.
Well, we're going to need to find 4 more. So
We dare not take those to the golf show, or we'll never
No.
see them again.
Nope.
So you've mentioned the golf show twice. This
Yeah.
was going to be something we were going to talk about today.
It is
Because
yeah.
that's coming.
Imperial Golf is coming back to the golf show.
We're returning to the
Nice.
golf
the
show.
whole reason to go to the golf show is because we're there.
Yep.
Okay.
We make
Yeah.
it fun.
So that's what the owner told me, anyways. But no, we've committed to a 2-year deal, so we're going back this year. It's February. I think it's 21st through the 23rd. Is that right?
I haven't seen dates.
Yeah,
so.
it's the, I want to say the last weekend in February.
Okay.
So, but 21st through 23rd, I think. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then we do a setup day on Thursday, so we're only in shop for 2 days that week, and then we'll be at the show for 4 days.
Nice.
Yeah, so the golf show this year, we're kind of taking a little bit different approach. The owner, Dick Stevens, who I've set up a new contract with, he's basically making us the title or presenting sponsor of instruction. So in other words, we're kind of the host coaching facility of the golf show, which is kind of cool. So
Headliner.
the headliner,
Yep.
or whatever you want to call it. So we'll have some stage time. I don't know if we do every day, but we'll have some various stage time where we do some demos and just talk to people a little bit
Yeah.
about what we do and what our process looks like.
It's usually Saturday, isn't it? We would get
Yeah,
stage
well,
time.
yeah, but we're
Maybe
slated
Sunday
to
as
get
well.
more time
Nice.
Oh, okay.
this year because we're the headlining,
What should we talk about?
posture. It's like
Ooh.
not riveting stuff.
Hey, everybody, sit up straight.
Yeah.
You're welcome. We'll be right over there.
I was thinking about optometry actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, it's
Clearly, eyesight is important to keeping your ball
Yeah.
in play.
yeah. Well, the lesson will be if you want to stop losing golf balls, just get better at golf so you know where to walk to. Then you don't need to see the damn thing.
Yeah.
So that's a good way to approach that. But
It's kind of
Does
the
help.
approach I'm trying to take. Slowly but surely.
just hit it down the fairway. And you don't need to watch it.
Yeah.
So
Not wrong.
anyways, so we're going to be the headlining instructional group, and we'll have some presenting days, a few different time slots, and it should be a good show. We'll be promoting our Christmas special extended, I believe. Right, we're still going to do that. So
Yeah, that week only.
yeah, that week only, because that's a Christmas promo. We only do that for the 6 weeks or whatever leading
Yeah,
up to
it's currently
to
live.
Christmas,
So if people are unfamiliar with that, to kind of touch on that briefly, you get a free swing analysis, and then you're essentially paying $2.99 for 5 30-minute lessons. And that extends pretty much every season through Christmas Day. And so, December 25th this year, that sale will expire, and then we'll bring it back specifically for the golf show for 3 days in February. And so you'll need to be present at the golf show to purchase it,
There you go.
is the one stipulation there.
Yeah, we started doing this program a few years ago now, and it was really a pretty big hit from the get-go.
Yeah.
It's obviously a really good Christmas gift for your nearest golfer, but it's in a comfortable, not just price point, but also commitment level where you're not too deep in, and it's not a daunting program. It's a great way to just get a taste of the process, and you'll still learn some things, and you'll still be productive with that program. But it'll be a nice gift for that aspiring golfer that wants to get better.
Yeah, no, and that's essentially how I got in. I didn't do that package, but I essentially did that package, but sort of separately, because I did the swing analysis with the Groupon thing, and
Right.
then bought the package
Entry level.
right afterwards.
Yep.
So
What's great about it is, you can buy the swing analysis, and we sell quite a few of those certificates this time of year and stuff for various family members, people that want to get their golfer something, and it's a great jumping off point. But then it puts the emphasis on the golfer kind of to buy more lessons. And so we just feel like this is just a nice stopgap between, buying a full package and then you get to test the waters a little bit. And from a coaching standpoint, we love it because you get, 6 visits with somebody stretched out over, a 5 to 10 week, depending on what they want, timeline. And so you do get a real assessment of how quick they learn, what type of progress are we seeing, and it just creates clarification for both coach and player on like, well, how much more time do we think we need? And so it's just a great jumping off point. And it's been quite the hit in the last couple of years. So
it's actually better analysis, more thorough, obviously, than just the analysis itself. The analysis is always a good starting point. And like I just had a new client call in the other day, asking about programs and had never taken lessons before and wanted to jump right into that. And I actually advised him to just start with the analysis and let's not worry about program yet, just because we want to make sure it's the right process for you. And we got to be on the same page as to where we want to go.
Yeah.
But that makes it a little more thorough in the sense that we get a much better sense of not just your game and what your tendencies are in your swing. We learn that in the analysis. But in a 5-lesson program, we learn more about like how you think and how you actually navigate around.
Yeah.
It's enough time to get to know you that
Good
we can
and
really put a better process together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's a good gateway. I mean, like for me, I know the swing analysis in those first couple of appointments. It all of a sudden it kind of dawned on me. It's like, oh, I can do this. I can maybe do that part, or I maybe can get there.
So you did have hope.
Yes, and you've crushed it all out of me.
Happy holidays. All right.
No, the world has crushed it all out of me. But no.
Oh my God.
All right. Okay, let's drink again. That was dark.
No, it's
Turns out our next episode is going to involve a therapist. So let's get
Forget that time.
we could probably all use them.
probably a good idea. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's definitely one of those things where like once you start to like if you're I don't want to say serious as in like trying to become professional, although that too.
Yep.
But if you're just like, hey, I actually want to get better, and I think I can. Like that was the big thing. Just even in the swing analysis, you were like, hey, there's this 1 or 2 things. Let's just make this little tweak. Like it's not going to stick. We're not drilling it. Just try to do this for a second. Yep. And it was like, oh, yeah, okay. Yep. Now, how do we do that all the time? And you were like, well, that takes longer.
Yeah.
But like I said, it kind of just, it seeded that hope. It also seeded for me just that expectation that I actually could get better and not just. So I think for anybody who's looking at even just being, I want to get better. I think I can. I want to invest a little bit in doing so. That whole, aimless hitting balls on the range, we've talked about that.
Yep. Right.
Aimless going out into the course, not really having a real plan at all. Just rip it and see what happens.
And I'll speak for myself in this. I don't know how John or Brandon have had their experiences cultivated through this type of process, but I think one of the things I notice a lot with amateurs is there's not really a defined goal. They come in like, I just want to get better at golf.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, well,
Or maybe they want to lower their scores.
It's a very generalized, vague idea. And so I often find that I'm trying to expose as a coach what those goals really are.
Sure.
In those first several weeks. And when you're just in here for the analysis, and I know a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but I've had several people like, well, I just want to jump into the program. I'm like, look, the analysis is really for us to kind of meet. There's obviously it's a player-coach dynamic, so there's obviously chemistry things too that come into that at times, and you're just trying to get some clarification on some things, and purely just diagnose what the issues are, and so and we need more than 30 minutes really to jump into that.
Yeah,
you kind of have to,
especially if we're going to get in your head.
Yeah, that can be treacherous.
Yeah.
It's a long, winding journey.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why we reserve 90 minutes for those sessions, even though they're a 1-hour analysis. We have spillover time often because you get into the weeds at times with people, and their questions start to flow, and which is always good because you're always trying to filter out the nonsense and get to the real issues. And these days with, social media and YouTube, it's just unavoidable. They're going to see stuff and go like, oh, well, what about,
right.
And you're like, yeah, great. Doesn't apply to you, but we'll move on, kind of stuff. So I just think it's such a great way to jump into a process with people, especially if they've had prior lesson experience and they're kind of skeptical because they've tried and it hasn't worked. And I've found a lot of success with folks that have had previous lesson experience and just, unfortunately, for whatever reason, really didn't click for them. Their process wasn't well defined enough or whatever, and so that's been really cool to see, for sure.
Well, and what's interesting, because you say that, we were kind of joking earlier. It's like people change. Like before I saw you, I have taken 3 lessons in my life. Mm-hmm. I was in high school, so it was a little while ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago,
and it wasn't super effective.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I won't do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably not a good reason. Like, you have to remember, like, as people, we change.
Yeah.
And especially as you get older, like for me, that was before college. That was before I got married. That was before I got kids. That's before I had like real jobs and like, man, I was a different human being back then.
Yep.
And so I'm in a very different place these days to actually even be coached. And that is a big deal. Like, people have to be ready to be coached.
Part of that's youth, though. Like, a lot of young people aren't really in a place where they're ready to be coached.
Sure.
You just got to mature. But I had a couple lessons in high school through all of high school, and that was it. I didn't have any real coaching. And it was the same experience. Like, you're on a driving range with an old guy sitting in a lawn chair for an hour, and it just felt kind of pointless and ineffective. And it was just like, here, do this, try this.
We had a high school golf coach, and he was a great dude, a decent golfer. But pretty much the only coaching I got was, why do you swing so hard? Quit swinging so hard. I'm like, dude, that's my thing. Like,
I swing hard.
We're in Denver. Why wouldn't I swing hard? It goes on forever.
Yeah.
Did you have lessons growing up?
I had 2 lessons when I was younger. I got a free one from a magazine it was like, meet with your local PGA pro and get a free 30-minute lesson.
Okay.
And one from your uncle.
No, my uncle doesn't golf.
Beat me to it.
That's actually how he broke his wrist the first time.
No, that's how he lost the eye.
Oh, yeah.
So I saw a guy at my local course once, and I was like, well, he seems to know what he's talking about. And I went back to him maybe 1 or 2 more times, but there was no like lasting commitment at all there. And I saw him over the course of a summer, once every 2 months or so, for just a couple quick adjustments and things. But
sure.
He was definitely a good coach.
Yeah.
It's just part of it was just I was paying for those lessons myself because my parents were like, yeah, we're not going to spend the money on lessons for you. So if you want your own, you got to pay for them.
We don't believe in you.
Well, that's more
That's what I heard.
Probably didn't have the money.
I guess it could have been that. Yeah,
we love your older brother more, so have fun with golf.
Yeah.
Well, if you're on the fence, you're thinking about lessons. Obviously, the guys here at Imperial, I can't recommend them enough. But a package like this is such a great way to get in, and I think especially if you're struggling for Christmas gifts, I think as adults, that's like wife keeps telling me to fill out my Amazon list, and it's like, I don't want anything on Amazon at this point. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I want some of this weird stuff that's not on Amazon, but I can't put that on my Amazon list.
Thank God.
But this guy,
Lessons on Amazon?
okay, well, I don't know. Wasn't sure where you were going.
I was going to say, my head went a different
Talking about
place.
lessons on Amazon.
Okay, all right.
I don't want to get censored.
Yeah, right. But no, I think if you've got a golfer in your life, or if you are the golfer in your life, and you need to drop some hints, this is honestly a really great gift, and it's something that you'll really enjoy because you'll start to kind of have that opportunity to challenge yourself to get better.
Yep.
And so that's actually what it's been for me the most fun is having something. I mean, I don't want to say like I've mastered my work life or anything. I'm always growing there, but I kind of hadn't had anything personally that was fun, that I got to challenge myself and learn in and grow in for a while.
Yeah.
And so that's been kind of the biggest fun and byproduct for me the last couple of years is pushing myself and having this fun, like, personal outlet now to do that. And so It's a great gift to give yourself or to have somebody give you.
Or if you're just lonely and need someone to talk to.
That's true. I mean,
in a golf context.
In a golf context, yeah.
Yeah, since we haven't started the golf matchmaking yet, we've talked about it.
Oh, we did talk about it.
Haven't gotten it off the ground yet.
We get a lot of requests for that. That's the thing.
Yes.
No, we do. You get people that are like just moved to Kansas City and they don't know anybody, and they're like, I just don't even want to play golf with. And I've had clients that won't go because they just don't like playing rounds by themselves, which I don't get because I've always enjoyed just rounds by myself where you can just cruise control through it.
I play
you can
too fast.
burn through it.
I play too fast. I don't like it either.
Yeah.
I'll do it, but I don't like it.
Because you just zip through it.
Yeah, I just don't have the same fun. So, but anyway, that's me. But anyway,
Teach their own.
Christmas lesson packages. Do it.
Christmas promo.
Do it.
It's available on our website, imperialgolfkc.com.
Yeah.
Super easy to purchase, super easy to gift. They can start scheduling immediately thereafter.
Yep.
How easy is that?
Easy.
Now, what you shouldn't get your golfers you like for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
This is your idea. So.
Yeah.
Did you have one that came to mind?
So, this is about to turn into the Joe Rogan podcast.
I like
3.5 hours later. How many training aids can we go through that people shouldn't buy?
Most of them.
It's all of them.
I'm really
Most of
struggling to like think of it because I haven't seen one in a while.
Well, I'll give kind of a common one, or one that I've gotten in the past that it's a good gift, but it's the wrong way to do it, which would be clubs, like equipment.
No.
Yeah.
I've gotten clubs
That
off the
went.
shelf.
It's like
that-
Family Feud. Good answer. Good
Yeah.
answer.
Good answer. Yeah,
Great
great job.
Somewhere different.
I've sometimes
job.
gotten clubs as a gift for Christmas, and it's been like, well, this doesn't work for me.
Well, that's why your parents didn't love you enough to get you lessons.
This
when you
is
were playing in the
left-handed,
clubs. Yeah.
but thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Grandma, for my left-handed putter.
Well, he can't putt, to be frank. So it
True.
works out.
Maybe try that.
Maybe I should go lefty. Might work better. But yeah, I mean, I would, instead of getting someone clubs, maybe buy them a fitting of some kind, driver fitting, iron
Club
fitting. Or if they have already had a fitting, at least get your hands on the results so you know what to get them, what fits them, what works for their game.
Or again, if they're clearly not ready for equipment, direct them towards coaching.
Right.
Yeah, there's a middle ground there. You don't want to go spending tons of money on equipment if the skills aren't there at all.
If that's not your problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you know,
Be
just
realistic.
buy them a gift card worth the value and go with them to pick out the equipment. So
I say
they themselves can get what
get
they
them a
want.
golf grip and be like, we'll fill it in.
We'll get the rest later. Well, even there, you know, you gotta make sure you get the right size, the right kind.
I think you can buy like a cheap grip and just be like, we'll go
You
fill
can
it
just
in.
see the kid holding it up. It's just like, we'll put a club in there for you.
It's one of those new virtual clubs. You know, you just swing it.
Yeah.
It's on a computer somewhere.
I think the worst golf gift I've seen given that was also at the same time the best was my brother went into my dad's closet and got a dozen golf balls that he had already bought for himself and individually wrapped each ball in duct tape. And then put them in a different box and gave them to him for Christmas. So he started unwrapping them. He's like, what the heck is this?
That's awesome.
He unwrapped one and he's like, oh, golf balls. Sweet. And so he just starts unwrapping them. And like the third or fourth one, he goes, wait a second. Are these the ones I got myself for Christmas like a week ago?
Oh, man.
That was a pretty good one.
You have a fascinating family.
That's one way to put it.
Off that because you just opened a door.
Oh,
That's one way to put it for sure.
All right. What are some other terrible golf gift ideas?
So we weren't joking when we said avoid training aids pretty much completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are a very only couple basic ones we use here, which would include an impact bag and an alignment stick.
Cattle prod.
Cattle prod. Taser. If you're really not paying attention.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But the issue with training aids is they're just often not used in the context of a process. So it's too random. So even if the training aid could work and could assist the golfer in improving something, they either A, don't know how to use it, or B, it's not in a good instructional process anyway.
Sure.
Completely.
So it's like you're just blowing money on something that is really going to just make you a bigger head case.
I probably get a couple dozen messages, texts a year from students and friends about like, oh, what do you think of this training aid? And my response is like, I copy it and paste it. I'm just like, you can fuck up anything. Like if you don't have proper context and a very disciplined regimen on how to use it, it doesn't tend to be effective.
Yeah.
And there's no proof that it yields lower scores or like, you know.
My Golf Spy did a study on training aids a few years back, and their conclusive end result of the study was extremely inconclusive. And their summary was all of the training aid companies that were willing to talk to them and share data, whatever, or just at least try to talk about the effectiveness of their training aids, nobody could actually provide any data. Like anybody. Like of all the training aids they tested,
on effectively
all the companies were like,
yeah,
we can't really say that we have any data that this actually helps the player.
So there you go.
But unfortunately,
it's not how the free market
cycles repeat and people forget about those articles.
It's called marketing.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, you're selling hope, really.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, all of that stuff, you're selling hope or convenience or.
Yep.
But what's really hilarious is that people will spend $100 on a training aid 4 or 5 times over and then scoff at the idea of lessons.
Right.
Which is like.
Well, lessons are harder.
Yeah, lessons require actual work and paying attention.
I mean, I'm not to pat myself on the back, but I use the cardboard box pretty effectively.
You do.
Yeah.
I've gone through 3 of them this year.
Yeah.
There's the skeleton of one right
we got
there.
one broken in half over
It's like
there.
I got like a shark attack victim.
So on a more expensive note of training aid, this is a more confusing one. Training aids that are maybe a good gift and fun to use, but can also lead down a bad path is golf simulators.
Launch monitors.
So that's like, you know,
Preach.
yeah. Well, there's they've become pretty cool gifts because the price points have come down, and you can get a lot of cool units for
I want one.
for reasonable prices. Like you don't need to spend $20,000 anymore.
Yeah.
You can get a high end unit nowadays for $2,000 or $3,000, like that really is accurate, and you can get $500 units that really aren't bad for what they are. So it's an alluring gift because like it is really cool technology, but especially if you get into the units that offer, you know, countless amounts of data, the bad side is it can become this total wormhole for the golfer of data. They don't really know what they're looking at.
Or they just attach themselves to some kind of number of in-out path or my attack angle.
Mostly yardage.
Yeah.
Mostly yardage. It becomes
I hit my
distance
7 iron
contest.
214. I'm like, great, you don't break 90.
Yeah. And your simulator's wrong.
Yeah.
And your simulator lies to you.
Who hits
It's
a
just
214?
generous.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm playing at altitude.
But that's kind of a middle ground gift, right? Like a gift that is a cool gift that could be fun to use, but it has to still be used appropriately, just like anything else. Better than a typical training aid, though.
Like a simulator thing?
Yeah,
you
any
said?
simulator. Yeah.
Well, I still remember
It's a high-end one.
when the home simulator really started becoming popular back when we were in Myrtle Beach. That OptiShot came out.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody always wanted to look at it, test it, try it out.
Yeah.
Is that the one with like the ball attached to the string?
It didn't.
No.
No. What was that?
You used the foam balls into a little
the Amazon
hitting
version.
net, but
You don't remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I do
Where it's like
remember
a
what
little.
you're
It
talking
looked
about,
like
yeah.
a kickstand that field goal kickers
Yeah.
use, and the ball dangling
I
from
don't
the string.
think that's a simulator. I think that was a...
No, it
Well,
literally
hitting
did.
So that was the original
They
launch
made
monitor.
some. Yeah.
That was a mechanical launch monitor before they had anything digital.
Because you could see like the direction
Back
the
in the
string would
good
like
old days.
wield it.
Yeah.
They made those back in like the 70s, I think.
No, I'm not.
They're
I
really
mean, the
not that
computer,
far.
the computer took
Originally.
a whole closet.
He
to
is
that,
like
but-
68.
Good
But-
grief! Like no, there was a
I mean,
version
they had
of
updated-
that
yes, they had
that had a
updated
little
versions when we
digital sim thing next to it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's
Yeah.
called.
made by Mattel.
Golf ball whacker guy.
Made by-
Well, to be fair, there's a lot of stupid shit
Batteries
in the
not
golf
included.
industry.
Yeah, well,
That's fair.
What's another? So, how about another good golf gift that's a little on the expensive side is a rangefinder.
Yeah.
That's a good golf gift.
That's a good one.
Because it's simplistic. It's not overly data driven. You're just giving the person a capacity to check numbers.
Yep.
And I always tell most people, like, get the slope versions because you're not playing in any USGA
unless they are playing in any tournaments.
Yeah,
you can turn it off now.
The cheat code's nice, right? When you can shoot it and it just tells you the adjustment of number, like that makes it a lot easier.
That's where I am old. I guess I just don't care. My eyes tell me slope, so I'm good.
Yeah, but you're not the average golfer that doesn't know what they're looking at.
That's true.
Yeah.
Most of us have no clue, JT. Jeez.
My eyes say slope.
No, I found it particularly useful. One, as my eyes are getting a little older, I'm not seeing the depth as quite as well. But two, I seem like I play out of Paradise a lot, but even when I'm traveling or whatever, it's just the different shapes, different undulations of courses. Like I have a hard time adapting what I'm seeing. Like there are courses. Like I played in Denver early this year, and man, all my distances were so screwed up, and not because of the air. It was because I was playing essentially in a quasi mountain course, and every time I'd look at it and go, "There's no way it's that far."
You'd mess your depth perception
yeah,
or
it
whatever.
was completely
That actually
jacking with me. So
brings up a good point or use case for rangefinders that most people don't think of, which is instead of always just using it to shoot the pin, you shoot slopes and like fairway bunkers that are behind slopes. That's like a optical illusion when you've got a slope in front of a fairway bunker and it makes it look, closer. So then you shoot that and you can get real numbers. People don't really think to always use their rangefinders that way.
No,
like
I
shoot
do.
a tree or shoot a slope,
actually.
Shoot the dog leg.
Well, that's I got into that habit caddying, and it's partly why I refuse to switch to GPS. I feel like I don't know, it's in my hands, and I trust that. And I've had the same one for 8 years, 9 years. So whether the numbers are off at this point doesn't matter because I play to those numbers. So it is what it is. So, and it is funny how it's just a general observation. You get like 4 guys and all of them are up on the tee box with their own rangefinders.
That always
they're
is
just
funny.
Like, 157. No, mine's 158.4.
Hey, shout out to Joel because Joel does that all the time.
I mean,
I'll go shoot a distance and then he comes up after me and he's like, "No, let me check with mine."
Yeah, and he hits the
I'm
flag
like,
behind it.
Yeah.
I don't know, John. I got 210. 183. I'm like, yeah, Joel, that's the other pin.
And he pulls out his 6 iron from 130
instead of his 9
because he thinks it's his 9 iron. Love you, Joel. Joel.
I feel like that should be a first tee thing. Like, okay, who's got what rangefinder? Oh, you've got the expensive one. Yeah, you're spotting all of them.
Not that they're all within like 2 yards of each other.
I've got the $100 one. I'm taking.
I was going to say for the golf we're playing, 9 feet doesn't make a lot of difference.
Oh no.
So. Because
you don't need the $700 Bushnell, if we're being honest.
No.
It's cool, but you don't need it. Most of them are pretty accurate.
Yeah.
So
I always get a chuckle out of if I'm playing with students that use it and they're they'll shoot a number for me or vice versa, and I always round up. I'm just like, it's 158 or whatever. And then you get the player who's like, that's 157.3. I'm like, I'm not that good. I appreciate the confidence, but I don't at that point.
No, but it's funny when the average golfer tries to take it to that level of accuracy.
Yeah.
When you're like, here's the thing. You're trying to hit a 10-yard window.
What I will say is...
Not a 0.7-yard window.
Excuse me, but as an average golfer... I would like to be accurate at one thing. And if it's just reading the stupid rangefinder, that's going to be my thing.
Okay. Good luck hitting the number.
No, it's not about that. But I'm going to be right with one thing. And it's not going to be my swing. So it's got to be the rangefinder.
That's fair.
That's funny.
You got to scratch your own back somehow.
Dude, I got to have something. Otherwise, why do I keep coming back?
Duke's like, respectfully, shut the fuck up. Like, I need one thing I can control.
I can read well.
Pretty much.
Well, I'll say, I don't know how you guys treat these types of distances, but like inside 100, even up to 25, 30 yards, I want a number so I have something in my head to like refer to. Because same as you, it's like a reference point. So I'm like, okay, 28 yards, great. But I want a number. I'm not just going to walk up inside of those areas that are just purely feel for a lot of golfers because I just don't trust my eyes.
Yeah.
Quite frankly. So, I'm the idiot out there from 30 yards going like, okay, 31 yards.
And the shorter it is, the more I actually will do it. honestly. I mean, there are times where
I do have a cutoff.
180, but there's the times where I'm 180 and I'm like, okay, cool, close enough. But like if I'm under 50, like that's the one I'm going to get the rangefinder out every time.
It's to a point. I think inside of like 25 or 30, when I can kind of pace it off and like walk up and look at my landing zones, then I'm
routinely.
Sure.
Then I'm going, yeah, whatever. I need to hit it here, and it is what
So
it
I always
is,
walk up. I always pace off to the edge of the green, because then I can guess the rest.
Yep.
So it's like then I can guess my carry number. But that's if I'm like 30 yards or in, then I just walk it off.
Yeah.
That's the easy way to do it.
Well, you're a good guesser then.
More than you know.
You have to operate with some sort. I have to have a digit in my head.
Yeah.
And if I don't trust that digit, then I don't trust my feel.
Well, one of the things that 2 years ago you had me do while I was out at tee shots every day for the winter was, hey, work on a 40, 60, 80 yard shot.
Yeah.
And so for me, I mean, that's the big thing. It's like, am I closer to 40? Am I closer? Like I don't trust myself to go, oh, it's only 52. So I need half of a, or, I need to be somewhere in between a 40. And it's like, no, I can't go long.
Right.
So I'm going to do my 40 and hope I'm a little jacked. I can't be short. I'm going to do my 60 and hope I'm lucky, right?
Well, and you need a space to practice those things. It'd be great if we had just a little par 3 track that was nothing but those types of lengths, which would be kind of cool and desperately needed around here, especially if you like lit it at night for the summer months. That'd be kind of cool.
That's always my joke with golfers and hear about feel, though, because it's such a thing that people lead with, especially in analysis. Like they talk about being a feel golfer.
Yeah.
And you watch them swing and you're like, you literally have no feel. So if you're relying on that.
Well, if they were a good field golfer, they wouldn't be seeing you.
I always thought it was a funny statement.
Yeah. All that means is I'm not working hard.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
yeah.
Really. It's like I'm just going to hope for the best.
Like it matters if you're like Tiger Woods and you learned clock positions and you're deadly accurate with them.
Sure.
Then you can say you're a field golfer.
What's funnier though is that John gets away with this stuff because of his delivery. Because he'll literally say that to people, like "Your field's shit," and they're laughing with him.
Yeah.
Because he plays that lovable asshole.
It's also
so
facts.
Well.
That's why it works.
You just have a great delivery method. I know.
Do you mean he's
but when
not
I
kidding?
say it, it comes off wrong, and then people
joking.
cry. No, he says those things.
Oh, well, I should probably be more offended then. Yeah.
Go for it. Join the rest of 2024.
Yeah, he clearly cares.
I could give two shits.
Well, it's better than one.
Point proven.
Just saying. I will say one training aid I do have, and training is probably a little strong, but I picked this up years ago, and I'm somebody who does swing hard, and I don't have the greatest of backs. It's one of those long, flexible
orange whips.
Yeah, the whips.
Like an orange
the
whip,
whips.
yeah.
That's a good one.
Like I actually like that for warming up. Just it
gets the blood flowing.
helps me set some tempo, and like if you start swinging too hard, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Well, that's also a lot less of a device. Like
Right,
a lot of training
right.
aids are just they're head case material.
right.
Because you're strapping something to the club or your body, and then you're thinking way too much. And the orange whip is a glorified, flexible golf club with a weight on the end of it. Mm-hmm. So it's very simple.
I think that's exactly what it is.
Yes. So like as long as you like stay in the category of simplistic, you're probably okay.
Yeah.
Which orange whip definitely qualifies.
Yeah. I've had some rounds where I thought about just taking it out on the tee. Couldn't have been any
There's
worse.
plenty of videos out there of like YouTube guys hitting
Oh, I'm sure.
golf balls with orange whips,
I'm sure.
which is pretty impressive.
What's that club that used to? I don't know. Maybe they still exist. It used to like break apart in the middle.
Medicus?
Yeah, the Medicus.
Medicus.
I used to play with a guy.
Who
in high
doesn't remember
school
that?
Who actually played with one of those on the course.
That thing-
you're sick.
Is that legal?
Probably not.
No,
I don't
it's
remember
think
who
so.
invented that, but it did well.
It did really well
sold a
because
lot
Marco
of those.
Mira was the
Like-
one that like
He was the
Yeah.
guy.
he
that
was the
endorsed
pro
it.
that
Yeah.
endorsed it. And
late 90s, early 2000s. Everyone had a Medicus.
Well, there's still
who
floating
hadn't
around
seen
out
that
there.
commercial at 2
I bet
a.m.?
there's still a lot of old pros still using them.
It's a
Probably.
good training aid.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like we have, what is it called? The PSP, the little
Oh, yeah.
7-iron that's no
That's
bigger than
cool.
a golf ball.
But also simplistic. That's why I like
It
it.
is.
It's
just
a
a
7
aim
iron.
small, miss small. You can
Yeah.
do the same
Like
by
that
buying
big.
blades from the
Okay.
60s.
Yeah. Like the club face is only big enough for the golf ball.
Yep.
Okay.
So if you miss at all, you just shank it. awesome.
It's hilarious.
Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
You'd be
It is.
surprised
Trial
at
by
how many.
fire.
And it's surprisingly effective.
Yeah.
And people hit it far cleaner than they think they will.
Yeah, they look at it terrified,
They do.
but then it forces them to focus.
Because their game
and they
improvement
actually hit it.
stratas are the size of a dinner plate.
Well, that's
So when you put
Going
this
to
thing in their
strata,
hand,
huh?
they're just like, you know.
Yeah, I don't know how many 20, 25 handicappers have put that club in their hands and they've gone, I can't hit this. It's like, just try it. And then their first 2 or 3 are just nice stripes right down the middle. It's like, yeah, you actually had to focus on what you're doing.
Like, we're all old enough.
That's a whole nother discussion for another podcast. But the wormhole of overly game improvement focus club,
Oh, I can't stand it.
like that, actually is a bad thing.
We are
you get
all-
to a point where you have so much forgiveness.
Yes.
Oh, when I
that
run
you
my
don't
fittings
learn
like
to
that.
get any better.
I absolutely run my fittings like that. I say I start kind of for most people like middle of the road in terms of forgiveness and size.
Right.
And I go as small and at least forgiving as I can that they can still functionally play with at that point.
But it gives them harsh feedback enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I
we're
very
all-
rarely do I fit into the largest, most forgiving clubs.
Yeah.
We're all old enough, though. We grew up with, like, hand-me-down stuff. And it was, like, blades from the 60s and 70s.
Literal blades.
Where you, like you butter your
Rusted
toast
blades.
with it. And you were forced to, like, find the club face. Whereas now, it's just like, well, here's this gigantic club face. And
Yeah.
then
Everything
when
looks
people-
like a Fisher Price toy.
it does, though. Because the sole is, like, this freaking thick, you know. It's just like,
In
Yep.
in high
and then the
school, I had a
offset
bunch of
craze.
Yeah.
Remember the offset craze?
it still exists.
Oh my god.
in high school, I had a bunch of Golfsmith clubs because that's what I could afford. And my driver was this big gold, like plasticky driver thing.
I love gold.
All of our team called it the genie lamp. But my 3-wood, I like just fell apart one day. I like smashed through it. I don't know what happened. And coach comes up, he hands me his old wooden driver with a little metal plate right where the ball hits, right in the sweet spot. He's like, just take this for the round. And I'm like, I'm not hitting that thing. I started crushing that thing farther than my driver.
Yep.
By far.
Yep.
And he's like, let's do that from now on. Keep it.
I mean, there's some logic to it, man. Like, I grew up with real persimmon woods and had a Spalding 2-wood in my bag my sophomore year of high school because I could hit off the tee and off the fairway. It was effective. I don't remember how far it went. It wasn't far, but it was far more productive than the Super Metal Matrix metal driver I had that weighed 10 pounds.
How many supers?
Super Metal Matrix.
It's like the top flight XL.
Oh, I bought it from
7000.
Play It Again Sports, and it was a box set, driver through putter, and the 3-iron cracked at the hosel and flew off mid-round one time.
So also not a
kinda
good
cool.
Christmas gift is what I'm hearing.
Super Metal Matrix?
Yeah.
No.
Probably not.
All right.
Don't recommend it.
Okay. Fair enough.
No.
Typically want to avoid this.
Okay.
You got somewhere to
And-
be.
No, I start a timer just so I know when we should be done. However, my timer stopped.
We've got like 48 minutes
So I have
left.
no idea how much time we have.
About 20, 30 minutes.
Maybe.
Plenty of time to talk about Patriot Outreach.
Maybe. Are you segueing?
Segueing.
Wow.
It was a rough one, but
I'm
we'll
so
take
proud.
It was
Was it?
smooth. What are you talking about? Actually, so Patriot Outreach is planning to be at the golf show with us, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
For those that don't know, Patriot Outreach is an organization that we built a relationship with years ago. Got to know one of the founders of the organization. It's a nonprofit that's centered around military primarily and first responders in the mission to fighting PTSD. So it's much needed mission, of course, and they've developed programs that are centered around helping those people, whether that be classes or like even DVDs and different media that can help them work through some of their struggles. And so their greater plan has always been these projects called CCRCs, which is basically, think of it as a large residential community that is it has a plethora of homes and apartments and condos for rent, as well as they'll even have their own on-site nursing home for the elderly. They'll have what they're calling as a dementia village for the dementia patients. And so it's just a massive residential community that's also going to have clubs worked into it. The idea of the community is that everybody is, it's a place, I mean, their literal quote is, it's a place to live, not to die. And that might sound kind of weird, but they want veterans and people that struggle with PTSD to be in a community that is active and involved, and they're volunteering in these clubs.
Yeah.
And that keeps them from, spending too much time alone, obviously, and just sitting at home in their living room or whatever.
Being isolated.
Yeah.
So it's a really great idea because, it's much needed.
Cause.
And it's obviously a really good cause. And so, like, our place in this project is we're going to be a host of one of the clubs, which in our case is obviously golf club. And
I thought it was backgammon.
The plan, well, I was thinking about optometry for a little while. But
Optometry club, yes.
That's a whole nother inside joke. Anyways, they're going to have an equestrian club with the horse whisperer. I think his name is, I want to say it's Monty Roberts maybe or something like that. But
you're looking at me like I'm going to bail you out.
I don't need to be bailed.
Sure, sounds right. Monty.
So he's the horse whisperer, and so they're going to build a horse ranch. They're going to have a gun and rod club, an aviation club. They're going to have an auto club. For those that know motorsports, Edelbrock is actually heading that department, which they're a producer of high performance automotive parts.
Yeah.
And then, thus far, Imperial Golf is slated to run the golf club.
The producer of high performance golfers.
And there you go.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So what's really cool is it's, at least thus far, morphed into a multifaceted business for us where we're actually slated to be designing our own 18-hole golf course.
Okay.
And so that'll be, of course, in conjunction with some engineers and architects from their contractors and subcontractors. And the main premise will be we'll be running a stay-and-play golf course, so you'll actually be able to rent cabins to come stay for a weekend and play golf.
Wow.
There will be kind of a focus on a training center, very much focused around youth, but available to everybody. And then we'll obviously also have the capacity to do events and stuff like that as well.
Yep.
So it's a pretty massive project. And initially, their first campus, if you will, is set to be starting construction here in the next year in Kansas City or just outside of Kansas City. And then the goal is to actually follow up to some other big city locations in the next few years following.
It's really neat to see their passion in this mission, which obviously for all our military and first responders, I mean, it's just cool that there's people that have worked those jobs and volunteered their time, and now they're trying to give back to a community that's hurting. We've got a good friend of ours who will, I'm sure, at some point be on our show here, Steve Pope, who runs First Responder Golf's YouTube page and has a very similar mission to kind of bring awareness to PTS within his field and firefighters and paramedics and stuff. And it's just we lose far too many of our good people to those jobs for self-inflicted reasons, and so having my own personal attachment to stuff like that, I think it's really pulled on my heartstrings. And as John said, we've been kind of partnering with these guys on and off since 2017 or 16.
We initially did a tournament.
COVID, our original tournament was kind of helping to bring awareness and benefit them, and then COVID kind of hit pause on that stuff, and so to kind of have this thing come back to fruition, and I think location sounds like it's still a little up in the air, but it's going to
probably south of
the city a little bit, and but what's really neat is it's going to give us an opportunity to design from the ground up a facility that people can come and play golf. They can train. They can get better at golf. We're hoping that we can include a par 3 track or some kind of developmental course as well. So
there's going to be there's plans for like a large scale mini putt course, like in a large green setting, and it'll really be good for the youth. And we're also hoping to have indoor golf covered as well. So through the off season, there will be plenty of simulators to use in the primary large clubhouse space. So we're covering a lot of bases, but the big key is I think the stay and play course and the highlight on youth development. So,
well, given its potential location, that at the moment they're talking to Osawatomie and the government there, and that's like a good 20-25 minutes south of OP. So a good 45 minutes, I think, directly from here.
About an hour from here.
I mean, that's Creekmore, that's Adams Point from where we're sitting. That's a very similar drive. So it's not so far out there. We're completely removed, but it's remote, and that's intentional on their part. They want it to be, somewhat community. A bit of an escape and outside of the city limits, and it's just really kind of mind-boggling, to be honest, that we're in a position that we get this opportunity.
It's a huge scale project, and the money is huge, obviously. And this is a worldwide level sponsor. So this is a sponsor that is backing them for up to $4 billion right now for their projects. So it's on a scale that's kind of hard to comprehend, and thus makes it hard to believe that it's actually something that could happen.
Yeah.
So and it's been in progress for so long. Like, they have been working on this for 12 years now. And, we've been involved at least in the planning part of our side for at minimum 5 years. So these things don't happen fast, but when they do, they happen fast, if that makes any sense. It takes a long time to get there, but once the funding's there, they're going to start, boots on the ground quick. So, so look to and listen to hear more about updates on that. But the hope is that we're seeing construction, or at least land bought and then construction early next year, it sounds like.
Wow.
Which is only months away.
Yeah, we're still probably a couple years from that coming to reality. But as far as it starting, that's going to be hopefully before the golf show, based on what we've heard.
And we're not worried about this yet, but that could involve, that'll involve some questions on our end on how we continue to operate Imperial Golf too, like what we do here. And it's nothing to worry about for the foreseeable future, because this is a few years away. But, we'll just see how that develops, and
big things in motion.
Say some prayers for us that it keeps developing. So this could be a big thing. But they'll be at the golf show with us. So if you want to learn anything more about the Patriot Outreach Project and how we're involved, they're going to have a booth either adjacent to us or set up next to us in some capacity, and you can talk to us at the golf show about it.
Yep,
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It'd be fun.
My dad was both a first responder and a vet, and he's the one who took me golfing the first 2 times. So
that's awesome.
You're kind of getting me, because he just passed away. So it's very cool.
Yeah.
It's neat from our position as admirable it is for folks in the U.S. to do those jobs. I've always held them in high regard, was, very interested in the military and first responders at a younger age. For some reason, it just didn't happen, but have tons of friends who are. Then I have the utmost respect for those folks. And so to be in a position where we could potentially be kind of helping these people that are dealing with just very real life issues. We teach golf on a daily basis, so it's very lighthearted, vast majority of the time. And with our proximity to the base, we've had tons of law enforcement, military people come through here and have opened up at times about that stuff, which is kind of hard to handle at first. You do feel a bit, okay, I'm just teaching golf as a coach, so there's, no real life implications here. But then you get the statements from them of just like, no, this is an escape for me. This helps me more than you realize. And so for us to have like this potential, not just designing a golf course and putting a facility together like they've laid out for us is really hard to wrap your head around. But beyond that, to also be contributing and giving back to a community that does so much for us as Americans is just, it's humbling for sure.
Yeah, it's full transparency. It's like a life-changing opportunity for us, both in business
in multiple ways,
and in purpose.
Yep.
Which is like, that's not something that everyone gets the chance to do.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take as much advantage of it as we can.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool to see how it develops.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to it.
So yeah. On that note,
where do I go with that?
Where do we go? Yeah. There's a lot, and there's still a lot for us to unpack with this too. It's like I said, it's something that's it's something that's hard to comprehend, and because it's such an unprecedented thing, it's not a reality until things start actually moving. Yeah. So even for us, like, I'm saying all of this, and then in the back of my head is like, there's no way this is real.
It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to take a while to get there.
I told John, I was like, when we can actually drive to the property.
When we can drive to the site, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then maybe it'll hit then.
I would just like to say, trust the process.
Oh gosh. Full circle there. Mic drop.
Yeah, take that, buddy.
Touche.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, very cool. And there's absolutely nowhere to go from there. So
that's a good thing, though, right?
It's a great thing. Like I said, it's as you're talking about it, it was like. So
that's good.
No, it's good. So
it is.
All right, just a reminder: Christmas is coming. Give the gift of challenging your golfer.
Mm-hmm. The Christmas promo.
The ability. Yeah, it's such a sweet deal. So check that out on the website. And if the website doesn't work for you, drive over to the shop and bang on the door until they give it to you.
You can do that.
So, totally.
We usually open.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my goodness. Don't buy crap. Like, that's a thing, right? Yeah. So, we're talking about that. But go to the golf show, see the guys, and see all the crap around them.
Come say hello. Yes.
No. We don't sell training aids.
Don't buy it. No, I said around you.
Okay. Around.
Yeah. No,
we're not crap.
I've been to the golf show. There's a lot of that crap around the golf show.
There is.
Zing.
All right. Well, that's an episode. We've got some fun stuff lined up for future. So keep watching, liking, subscribing, all the things. Yeah. And for all of our mothers who are watching this, thank you. Absolutely. We appreciate it. We need your support.
Peace.